Great to be with you here on the Friday Night Sports Show, and terrific to cover Ouyen United Kangas footy. And it's Dean Jardine with me. G'day, Dean. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate.
Good to have you on board. We'll firstly take a look at some games played, not at your ground, but at other grounds. Merbein had an unlikely win over Robinvale Euston, I thought, 7-10-52 to 4-8-32. And you played Robinvale Euston in a trial game. I'll tell you what, the Magpies might have improved.
I think they have, mate, yeah. Obviously, it was a pretty well thought-out win for Merbein at home, round one. So they've certainly got some new players that not too many guys know much about. So obviously we know it's going to be an even comp, but they could be a bit of a surprise packet as well.
I think they will. Wentworth surprised Redcliffs too, 14-17, 101 to 7-11-53.
Yes, yeah, that was another good win as well. So probably a bit like Merbein. I think Wenny, they'd lost quite a few, but obviously picked up a few as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting the first few rounds to see how things play out and give everyone a chance to have a couple of games and see where things settle down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need to get a couple of games to settle down too, because Mildura came out to your home deck and showed you a footy lesson, 15-11, 101 to 5-7-37. And gee, Dean, it was a tough day for the coaches because they just led you at every change.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was a pretty ordinary day out. We were pretty convincingly beaten on every front on the day. So yeah, going in, obviously, after the long layoff, we were a bit worried about our preparation with trial games and availability and whatnot. So I think full credit to Mildura. I think they'd had four practice matches leading in, and it probably showed up pretty evidently. They were a lot better around the contested footy and a lot cleaner, and just skill execution. They were really good, and we were really bad. So
yeah. Pike was good though for you. Tried hard, and good to see him in your jumper. Brady and Staunton back. He's been an absolute gun for you in past years. Ryan McKay was good too, and Muir. That goal's hard to come by, all singles there. Dean got 4 for Mildura, but on the day, this was perhaps followed up from your reserve grade, and there was a bit of joy around the club because they'd come out and played some pretty good football, the reserve boys, and they'd sort of set some sort of pattern, really, when they won 11-8-74 to 5-13-43. It gave you blokes a bit of opportunity to bounce onto that, but it didn't happen.
No, it didn't, mate. We were quite disappointed, obviously, with the way we went. But, full credit to the reserve boys. There's been a lot of them that have had really big pre-seasons, and it showed out. They played great footy. They moved the footy really well. Their skill execution was spot on, and they attacked the right areas. And, it was a great win. Obviously, a lot of the young guys coming into that reserve side, so it was really quite exciting to watch.
Certainly was. I'm going to ask you about Schultz, who booted 4, and young Hulland, the boy from Batchawalik, who booted 2. Those two were very good. They'll push for senior selection, surely.
Yeah, they will, mate, for sure. They're both very talented kids. Obviously, Tate lined up at centre forward, and I think Connor might have started on the bench actually, and I don't think he got on until about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, and then he kicked 4 in 10 minutes. So he certainly knows where the goals are, and Tate was excellent across half forward line. He was leading up, took some nice marks, and some nice entry kicks from him.
Oh, it was really good. Ryan Monaghan and Barker and Schulz in the better players. Hulland also amongst it there, and well played to the young guns there coming up into senior footy ranks. It's always great to see the next level of players come in. The under-18 competition, well, these two sides fought out to the premiership game back 2 years ago, but it wasn't to be this time. It was Mildura 14-12-96, the same result, but a bigger margin, beating Ouyen 7-7-49.
Yeah, it was, mate. I think our Ouyen boys were really pleasing for 3 quarters. I think at 3/4 time there might have only been a goal or 2 in it. So it was certainly probably a lot closer contest, obviously, to what it blew out a bit in the end. But credit to the under-18 boys. They fought hard for 3 quarters and just sort of ran out of legs in the end a bit. But I think Mildura might have won the last 5 premierships in the under-18, so we know they're going to be the benchmark again. So it was a good challenge first up, and I I think the boys showed a lot of promise as well.
Yeah, I think they did. They're only actually 8 points adrift at three-quarter time, so right in the game. Young Crest, D Crest with 2, Vine with a couple, J Deal got 1, B Mildy, T Vine, S Magnasalis, Munro, it's E Munro and D Crest are the better players there in that age profile in round 1. It was the 16s who found it pretty tough going, and this is going to be a hard year with clubs like Mildura kicking 18-12 to 1-1. The better players in the 16s, we saw young O'Shannessy kick the only goal. The two O'Shannessy boys, S and J, were the better players, and young Grace and young Farnsworth.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was a tough day for the boys. I think the same thing, just the numbers factor. I think there was quite a few guys that come up from the lower grades. So, yeah, same again. Mildura, we know Mildura are going to be strong, and, the boys will get their chances at some stage throughout the year. But most importantly, I think they'll probably just glad to be back out there running around, having a kick, and trying to get their hands on it. So
yeah, I think that's the case. I don't think there was an under 14 age match there on the weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, mate. I think we're struggling with the numbers in that age group. So I think most of them guys might have went up and had a run in the under 16s, obviously, because they're a bit light on as well for numbers.
Yep, all right. We'll keep a track on that through the season. Let's have a look at this week's matches in senior football. Mildura play Merbeen. Gee, this is going to be a good game.
It is, mate. Yeah, it'll be. We'll be obviously watching on with interest because we've got Merbeen next weekend. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go against a pretty well drilled and pretty slippery Mildura outfit. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Irimple and Imperials in the other one, they played off in the grand final back in 2019. Irimple should start favourite.
Yeah, I think they will. Obviously, they're coming off the bye last weekend, so they'll be nice and fresh after a big pre-season, no doubt. So obviously they had a big win round 1, so I think they'll go in favourites. But it should be a good match. So they're both New York sides.
They certainly are. Robinvale take on Wentworth, John James Oval. Gee, Wentworth might go over there. The long road trip for them, but they could win this match. I think Wentworth.
I think so, mate. Yeah, I think Robinvale got a couple of guys out still. So from all reports, obviously we don't know much about Wentworth, but they've definitely they're better players last week were a few of their new guys. So I think they'll be heading over there with a fair bit of confidence and young side, and anything can happen. So Robinvale will have to be at their best, I think.
And will be. And Redcliffe's get South Mildura. These two could be evenly matched, and down at Redcliffe's home deck, will be interesting to see who wins this one.
Yeah, same again. I think South showed some promising sides against Irimple at times in round 1. So obviously Redcliffe's have got a lot of new guys in as well. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes guys to click and learn to play with each other. And I think that one could come down to the wire. It could go either way.
Absolutely. Of course, you get the bye this weekend for all your lads to regroup. How have they been on the training track with the week off? Have you had good numbers still and the enthusiasm still amongst them after the first hit out?
Yeah, we have, mate. Yeah, it's been good numbers. Obviously quite a few sore bodies. First hit out for a while, and a few older guys in the squad. So we enjoyed a bit of a freshen up Tuesday night. We trained hard last night. We'll train again Saturday as well. So we felt that we were a bit off the first round, just with the match fitness and stuff like that. Obviously, a bye second round's not ideal. You fall a week behind again. So yeah, we'll have a good hit out Saturday, and then big week on the track next week and look to bounce back. Yeah,
okay, all right. Looking forward to chatting to you as we preview that match against Merbeen next week. Well, the Ouyen United Kangas folk are having the weekend off, but going out and probably seeing some other football will be good to do. And it's good to have you on board. Dean Jardine calling it for us here on Sunraysia Football. Catch you next week.
No worries, mate. Thank you.